Is changing your oil every 3,000 miles unnecessary?
No, I don't think so. But I do it all day long. I'd rather see them come in at 3,000 and not smoke their engine than push it 7,000 and end up having to put parts in it.
If you're running conventional, it's every 3,000. If you're running conventional oil blend, it's 3,000. But since I'm usually around 5,000, and then the filter, the paper material in the oil filter starts to break down. Oil manufacturers that claim you can get 7,000 to 15,000 miles on an oil change is just not accurate.
So what if someone was to just change the filter after 5,000 miles?
At that point, you're getting moisture in the oil, you're opening up the system. It's just easier to do it all at once.
If you're using full synthetic oil, the recommendation is 5,000. If you're using conventional oil or a semi-synthetic oil, the recommendation is 3,000 because the oils break down. I suggest anybody gets an oil change if it's been a year, even if you don't put the mileage on. You know, rule of thumb, change it in a year if you haven't put the miles on. My wife's car, we don't drive a ton. You know, we change it once a year. So, but you get condensation from the cold and the hot. You know, it's cold outside, it sits, the engine block gets cold. When you start it, it starts getting, you produce condensation there. So, you know, change it once a year regardless. But yeah, every 5,000 for synthetic and 3,000 for semi-synthetic.
So with the condensation, is it that it breaks down the oil or breaks down the components in the engine?
Well, the condensation in there will create a milky oil, which doesn't lubricate as well. It doesn't have the viscosity it's supposed to have. Bearings take more abuse. Water's not a lubricant, so it definitely doesn't help.
I'm old school, so I like doing it every 3,000 miles. I still do, but I'm not opposed to the 5,000 mile mark. But anything over that, I wouldn't run. Kind of aging myself, but when I started, it was just conventional oil, and now they got full synthetic oil and stuff, which protects the motor better. Takes longer for it to break down, so yeah, that's why 5,000 miles is okay.
Say that again?
No. What do you want?
Oh, you're giving us good content. I put the camera down, and then you started talking about horror stories for people who go over 5,000. So I thought we might as well have that on video.
When I was working at the dealership, the cars that went 6,000 to 7,000 miles over were the ones that were doing the major internal engine work too. The ones that were doing it 5,000 or less didn't seem to have the issues.
And, so what starts to happen if you don't change your oil at that point? What kind of engine repair?
We would get time chain issues. There was some piston failures, some bearing failures, stuff like that. I mean, but you can usually tell when somebody takes care of their car if you open it up versus one that's not.
So all that stuff, timing chain and the things you mentioned, gets all gunked up if you don't change it. These parts don't move like they're supposed to.
Exactly. Yep.